live session, we'll be addressing something that a lot of people have talked about when it comes to real estate, especially in Abuja and maybe across the world as well. We will be addressing everything about plot sizes in Abuja. And I'm not doing this alone. This is my awesome colleague right here with Priscilla. Priscilla, please say hello to them.
Hello and welcome to today's live.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk to you a little, just give you more information, or I'd rather say answer those questions you've been asking people, asking yourself, maybe in your heart, about plot sizes right here in Abuja.
Yes. So we collected questions from what you call it, frequently
asked questions.
Good. So a lot of questions, and we just took out the ones that people ask the most, the frequent ones about plot size. So we've collected them, and we are going to be answering them for you on this live. So just stay tuned. Whether if it's can I add a helicopter pad to my plot, whatever it is about plot sizes, can I, whatever, all of that. And we're going to be answering that for you. Are you ready like we are? I know you are. But before we go on to start answering the questions, let's just let you know a little bit of who we are, just in case you're joining the live for the first time. You're wondering, who are these people? We are Browdy Global Abuja, and we make available for you safe and profitable real estate for you to invest in. So whether you want to come in as a starter, you want to invest, you want somewhere to live in, we make sure you get the best from Abuja's real estate space.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay, so Sila, I can call you still online, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let's just get into this. But before we get to start answering these questions, let's remind them actually. I mean, before we even start saying plots, what is a plot?
Okay.
Just simple, like, what is a plot?
Okay, so sometimes you hear people say stuff like 300 square meters, or let me use the most common plot sizes. You know, they say 600 square meters, 500 square meters. They say, oh, I just bought land somewhere. I say, I just bought a plot of land.
Yeah.
And then it goes, how many square meters? And I say 500 square meters. And then sometimes you now ask, like, a plot of land. Yes. Or some people would say, this plot of land is 250 square meters. It's not a plot, though.
Exactly.
It's not. It's half plot. Oh, well, I'm going to solve that today.
Yes.
So a plot of land is a defined portion of the earth, a measured, defined portion of the earth. So whether it is 150 square meters, whether it is 250 square meters, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 square meters, as long as it is a defined portion of the earth, it is called a plot of land. So basically, that's just what the plot is.
Exactly. Defined. Emphasis on defined. Like she said, it could be any size at all, as long as it is defined. 10,000, 1 billion. So exactly, that's a good place to start. And from that place, I think we can enter one of the very first questions that's often asked here. Because she said something about, somebody said that 250. No, it's not the plot, it's half a plot.
Half plot.
I would say on that note, we enter the very first question here that says, 150 square meters, is it half a plot or a full plot?
I believe we've answered that question already from the definition of what a plot is. So 150 square meters is a plot. Is a plot of land.
Exactly, it is.
And a full plot.
Yes.
Because it is defined. And the definition, it is 150 square meter.
Exactly.
Measured,
defined. And I think on that note, you already know it's a full plot from what it's a full plot. But maybe while you're wondering if it's a full plot is, let's now help them by telling them what exactly can be built for. Remember, it's everything about plot sizes in Abuja, right? Yeah. So when we are saying 150 square meters is a full plot defined for a specific kind of building, and that is the terrace building, right? So on the 150 square meter plot in Abuja, oftentimes you can erect a 3-bedroom terrace duplex on it comfortably. Right? That is the approved building prototype for a 150 square meter plot in Abuja. Right? Yes. I wanted to say something, but it's part of the questions that is coming down. Yes, I won't answer that here. We'll just
go with the flow.
Exactly. Priscilla, take number 2.
All right. So the second question we have on our list says, what can you build on a 250 square meters? So if you've been wondering, what can I build on a 250 square meters?
Yeah.
You know, you seem like you cannot picture it, you cannot imagine it. You know, you're just thinking about it. So Roy, what can we build on a 250 square meter plot size?
I feel like showing this on the screen, but okay, on the 250 square meter plot in Abuja, it's often the prototype is a semi-detached duplex. For most 250s, I've been seeing more of 4-bedroom semi-detached. I don't really think, I can't remember seeing five-bedroom semi-detached. I've seen is 350 and 300, but for most 250 square meter plots I've been seeing, it's 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex. And if you're wondering what a semi-detached duplex looks like, a semi-detached duplex is that one where 2 buildings are joined together and separated by a fence.
Yeah,
so one side
fence
is a duplex, another side is a duplex, 4-bedroom. So one is sitting on 250, one is sitting on 250. So sum together is 500, but 250 for one side of the duplex, 250 for one side of the duplex. That's a semi-detached 4-bedroom duplex in Abuja. That's what that plot size is often designated for or approved for, that kind of building. That's what you can build. And you have some parking space even in front of your building.
All right. Before we move to the next question, we also just want to, list out other plot sizes that you'd regularly hear or see or find right here in Abuja.
Okay.
So we've mentioned 150 square meters. We've mentioned 250 square meters.
Yes.
There's also 200 square
Yes.
meters. There's 300 square meters.
Yes.
Then there's 350 square meters.
Yes.
There's 450 square meters.
Yes.
There's also 500 square meters.
Exactly.
There's 600 square meters.
Exactly.
In some cases, there's 750.
Yes.
We have 1,000. Then we have a hectare. So a hectare is 10,000 square meters,
Yes.
right? So some people decide to go for half a hectare. So when you're talking about half a hectare, that is just 5,000 square meters. Exactly. Because 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. That's a standard right here in the city of Abuja. So each of these plot sizes has, designated building that has been approved to be built on it. But it's still dependent on what the developer wants. It's dependent on how he has designed his layout.
Exactly.
So when he designs his layout, he takes it for approval. So if it meets the standard right here in Abuja, then it is approved. Exactly. That is why in some cases you find them, in some estates rather, they have 200 square meter plot sizes.
Exactly.
They don't have 150 square meter plot sizes. So some people will just have 200, 400, 600, some even have 470. I've seen 180.
I've seen 320 as well.
Exactly, But you just know that for example, for instance, if you have a plot size of 350 square meters all the way to 450 square meters, in most cases, what is approved to be built on it is a standalone. So if you want, and then from 500 as well, and then sometimes that's 450, what is approved on it is a block of flats. It happens in different estates.
Exactly.
So it's not the same thing. The same thing is not applicable to the next estate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a straitjacket for all estates. Like she said, the developer, the design, the vision he has for his estate. Like take for instance, Hutu, we are actually, that's all in the market right now. On a 450 square meter plot, you can erect block of apartments, 1-bedroom block of apartments.
Yes, 6 units.
Exactly.
Which is perfect for rental income. And in the same estate, the 1,000 square meters, you can either go for a 3-bedroom unit of apartments, or you do 7-bedroom fully detached standalone duplex.
Exactly.
With lots of parking.
So you see, it's not a straitjacket for all real estate companies or developers across Abuja. It varies. The taste of the developer and then your own need. So if you're wondering, okay, I want this, this or this type of this. So just look for the particular developer or estate that is offering that need, that can solve that need that you have, so that you don't go everywhere saying, oh, Just know your need and then look for the estate that can meet you and that's your need. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Number
4 or 3 rather.
number 3 or number 3.
Okay. This question is it's not very clear.
Okay.
What do you see?
So it says that, oh, I want a compound space.
Okay.
What plot size suits for a compound space?
ample.
Given that we always seeing terraces, duplexes all over Abuja. So if I want a compound space, what plot size do I go for? So if you want a compound space, the plot size you should consider depending, like we mentioned earlier, depending on the design of the layout design of the particular estate you're buying in, right? So if you want compound space, you should be looking at 350 square meters because you'd be able to build fully detached duplex, a standalone duplex. You should also consider a 500 square meter plot size. You should also consider a 750, 150. So the bigger plot sizes, you could build standalone duplexes and then you have enough compound space. You can even have a mini green area right in the compound. Some people choose to redesign their space the way they want, however they design exactly for your kids, so if
compound space.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So for a compound space, like she rightly stated, from 350 square meters, you can look at that upwards for ample compound space.
Also, let's add, if you want space, also depending on your budget.
And very important. In case you didn't hear, she also whispering. She said it's also dependent on your budget. Okay, it's very important. I mean, we could talk about that deeply, but let's just leave it at that. You can't. You understand? If you really understand, you can't. You understand, you can have 15 million. Let's not just go into that, but you understand. Your budget also can affect the compound space that you have. Okay, the next one. Can I build terraces on a stand-alone plot? Okay, so I'll answer that question, right?
Sure.
Okay, it's just like saying you buy a pencil or you see a pencil. You're saying, can I pour ink inside the pencil? The pencil was designated to have lead inside and not ink. Plots are designed for a particular building prototype, which is often submitted and is approved for that prototype. So if you buy a plot that was designated for a stand-alone, you cannot build a terrace on it. Why? Because it was meant for a stand-alone, according to the building approval for that estate you are buying from. I will repeat, for that estate you are buying from. Okay, except you're buying, which is not, it's not something we offer, but I'll just give that extra information. Let's say, for instance, you go into the likes of somewhere in Lube where someone wants to sell his personal plot, where you can buy the plot, then design a plan for the plot and submit
your building plan.
Like that plot you are buying at that time doesn't have any building approval yet. You then submit the plot, say, okay, this plot, I want this to be on it. You submit, and then FCDA approves. But if you're buying from an estate, no, the estate already has a building prototype, building approval for every kind of plot. So if it's a standalone plot, for instance, a 350, you say, oh, you know what? I want to build 36 on 350. No, sir. No, man. It cannot work.
It cannot work. So just to add to that, right? So what you desire, what you want, determines the plot size you should go for.
Exactly.
So if you want terraces, then go for plot sizes that are approved for building terraces. If you want standalone, duplexes, then go for plots that are approved for standalone duplexes. This will save you a lot. Instead of buying a plot that is meant for terraces and then you want to, have duplexes constructed on it. And also, even when it is a single plot, maybe you're not buying from an estate, and then you have to design what you want and then take it for approval. That is the building plan. You take it for approval. You can't just have anything you want because
Exactly.
Abuja has a standard.
Exactly.
So your architectural design and all of that, they need to meet up with the
Exactly.
standard that is approved. So you cannot say you want to build bungalow simply because you did not buy in an estate, right? So if the
Exactly.
standard is not bungalow, and of course it is not, for a very long time, Abuja rarely approves, building designs that come with bungalows.
Yes.
It's usually terraces, duplexes that are usually approved, right? So you cannot have that and then they'll approve it. No, you have to redesign it and then meet up with the standard for them to approve it, right?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Did you catch that? I did. I catch that. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
The next one, Priscilla.
Says, can I redesign an external design on a plot size after paying? I believe from our conversation so far, you can guess the answer to that. So the answer is no. You cannot do that. So redesigning an external design, right? So for example, you're interested in a plot size that has been approved for, let's say, a 4-bedroom standalone duplex.
Yes.
And then in your sense, you're looking at, okay, I can just buy this plot size, and then the outside, I'll design it like the 4-bedroom terrace duplex. Not terrace, 4-bedroom fully detached duplex. But the inside, I want it to be 2 units of, terraces joined together, and then at the back, I'll now have 2 doors. It's very impossible to achieve that, right? It's very, very impossible to achieve that without changing the external design or changing the design that has been approved, right? So that is why the answer to that is a no. It's either you get a plot size for terraces, probably just get two plot sizes. If 200 square meter is approved for terraces, just get 2 plots of 200 square meters, build them side by side. Instead of buying a 400 square meters approved for, a fully detached duplex and thinking you'd be able to redesign the interior, or the exterior, right?
In addition to that, because I feel this question is coming from 2 standpoints, I'm also seeing another standpoint inside this same question.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe, for instance, the estate you're buying from, they have a building approval, a building prototype, and you do not like the external design. You're like, I don't like that they made here flat. I want my own to be round. It's not my plot. It's not my money.
It's my plot, is my money. I can do what I want, however I want.
Like, no. So uniformity and the building approval goes through a very strict process of vetting and ensuring that there's uniformity in that estate. So if it's meant to look like this, every building is meant to look like this for that plot size you choose, and you say, no, I want my own externally to look like this, you're going against the approved design, external design for that building. Every building must look uniform externally. Right. Externally, the structure, maybe there may be maybe depending on the clause when you read the document and what the designer wants, what the developer, maybe you can choose your own color of paint, maybe. But for the design of the external structure, where the window should be, the door, all of those things, it should be the same externally, except the developer makes it clear, okay, you can choose your own type of door. Those ones not really much, but you can't alter the external design of an already approved building prototype, just in case that's your own standpoint in looking at the question.
So I just have something to add, right? Now, the consequences of not following the approved design leads to demolition or revocation.
Simple.
That is why sometimes you see a lot of, or you hear that there's a lot of demolitions happening in Abuja.
Yeah.
Most of the times is, these are some of the reasons, so you can't just wake up and go against what, the standards that you're supposed. And again, for building plan approval or for construction generally right here in Abuja, When it is approved, for the very first stage of your construction, the government comes to check.
Exactly.
So when you're doing your excavation, when you're laying your foundation, they come to check, and they just want to ensure that you're conforming with the standards, including safety standards.
Exactly.
So if you don't meet up to the standard, in fact, I'm not even sure the house will reach up there.
Exactly.
Before they'll tell you to pull it down and do the right thing.
You come and you see X on your building.
So the Department of Development Control came and asked them to move the gatehouse from the fence. They said it was too close to the fence.
You see that?
So based on the design and the standards, so based on the standard, this one is not just about the design, it's about the standards are meant to be. You know, based on the standards, there's supposed to be some space from where the gatehouse is to the fence. So they asked them to move it. Meanwhile, the structure, what was being constructed in that land was, I think, 4-bedroom
block of flats.
No, terrace duplex plus BQ and the BQ. And then it has not even gotten into the second decking yet. They're already asking them to move the gatehouse. That it was too close to the fence, right?
So uniformity and following the laid down structure in Abuja real estate is very important. It's not like every other part of Nigeria. Follow the plan, follow the structure anywhere you're buying from. Okay, the next question is for me, right? Yeah. So what is the actual size of a plot? I think we answered that at the beginning, but let's just argue small. No, the actual size of the plot is 150 square meters. That's the actual size, yes.
That's the actual size. So what now happens to 500 square meters? So what if I now do 250 square meters? Say it's not the actual size.
No, the actual size of the plot is actually 1,000 square meters. You see, that's the thing.
That was on a lighter note.
There is no actual size of a plot. It's defined. It has been defined to say, okay, if I choose, for instance, now map out this place where this table is, register it and everything, let's say it's just 2 square meters, it has been defined. The number attached to the square meters is not what makes it a plot. It's the definition for what it has been designed for. Okay, it's a 350 square meter plot. It's a 1,000 square meter plot. It's a 10,000 square meter plot.
Because it is defined, marked out, measured.
Exactly. Right. So that question should never be an issue to you again. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go on to
the next one. It says, can I build a shop in front of my house?
No, we don't need to laugh at you.
Honestly, we're not laughing at you.
But should I go on?
Go on.
Okay, so no, you can't. You can't build a shop in front of your house. You can't. Except, of course, if it was in the building approval, building plan for that SOA, but which is rarely ever happens. You can't. Whatsoever is not in the building plan, building approval, you cannot do. Simple.
So just to add, if you're asking if you can build shop in front of your house, why don't you just buy the commercial plots?
Yes. The oil in the head is not granite oil. Yeah.
Why don't you just buy commercial plots, build shops, rent some out and keep a few to yourself? I think that will solve this issue. So some estates have commercial, plots available for sale. You can either buy the plots, not the plots. You can buy a shop, that is the shop size, there's a square meter for a shop. So you can buy that, and when they are done constructing the mall, you know that you own something right there. Or there are areas that are designed, commercial areas. You go there and you buy a shop and you own a shop. But in a residential setting, where you have your house, you cannot have a shop in front of your house.
No, you can't, my dear. You cannot. You cannot. So avoid pulling unnecessary government attention to yourself at our cost struggles. You cannot do that. Priscilla, the next one, please.
So the next question, it says, can I buy 2 plots and merge it?
Okay.
So I think we've
sort of answered that, right?
We've answered this, yes. It depends on when you say, can I buy 2 plots and merge it? That's a very tricky one. So now, are you buying 200 square meter plot sizes, 2 of it?
Okay.
Do you want them to be side by side?
There's a lot of perspective to it.
Exactly.
Yes, okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Do you want them to be side by side? Else, if you buy a side, you can't merge it.
Obviously, you can't move land, my brother. You cannot move the land from here.
You can't.
Like, you can't.
Then imagine that you bought 350 square meter and I bought 450 square meter. No, now. You can't. Why? Because what is approved on a 350 square meter is not the same square meter. And back to the question, even if, let's just say, even if you buy 2 plots of the same size and they are side by side, can you really merge it?
So in that case, it's tricky, it's dicey. But obviously, if you buy, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 800 square meters of 200 meters that are all lined up together, side by side, you obviously just by structural design, it's already merged because terrace duplexes are all side by side.
Yeah,
right? They're all side by side, so it's merged.
But that's a special case.
Exactly. Same with
that's
the
a special.
semi-detached.
Yes, it's a special case.
Exactly.
Maybe a group of friends.
Exactly.
Or maybe a company decide to buy a block.
Exactly.
Of terraces.
Plots, terrace plots.
Yeah, terraces plots, and then they decide to build.
Exactly.
Probably just do like 8 or 4.
Exactly.
On that. That's a different ballgame altogether.
That case, it's possible. Yeah. But when it's maybe standalone, you buy 2 standalones and you want to merge it for another purpose, no. But in the case of a semi-detached, you can next to each other buy automatically it's merged, right?
Yes.
But if they are standalone, search on your part or ask your realtor who you're dealing with to do some search for you to find out if you can do standalone plots. And maybe if I'm trying to understand what the client meant here. Maybe build 2 stands and use 1 fence for 2 standalones. You have to find out with the developer as well and ask the right questions if it's in that case. Yeah.
All right. I hope you're getting value from this so far.
Yes.
And a lot of your questions, those ones that you've not asked yet, they are still in your heart, have been taken care of. So we're moving to the next one, and which is, what is the setback requirements?
Yes.
That's for you, right?
Yes. What is the setback requirement? Okay, so when it comes to setback requirements, let me just break it down. Setback, what setback really is. There are these 2 kinds of, I'll just focus on, when it comes to setback, what can I use? Okay, this is the building, the fence of the building, and probably this is the main road. This is the fence, and this is the house inside. So setback can be distance between the fence and your house, between the fence and the main road.
Okay.
Right? So that's what setback basically means. And when it comes to setback requirements, it differs for different parts of Abuja. Remember, we're talking about plot sizes in Abuja. And of course, I'll just give you data. This is already information that's online. So when it comes to setback, standard residential standard setbacks, high density areas, low density areas, and medium density areas. And I'll tell you what they mean in a nutshell. So high density areas refers to places where population is great. It's massive. For the likes of places, for instance, say somewhere like Gwarimpa, somewhere like where else is populated? Jabi, Utako. These areas have more populated. Don't even go there. Places like that. These are high density areas. So there's medium density areas where we are, where our office is, with medium density. It's not very populated. It's just, you might sometimes, I even think we is low density, but I don't want anybody into medium density. Then low density are places like Maitama, Asoko. These places, they were designed not to have a lot of people, lots of houses. It's for the cream de la cream. So when it comes to exactly, so you're going to notice this as I'm explaining this. When it comes to high density areas, you realize that between the fence and the main road, there's not a lot of space. The pedestrian lane is not so big. It could just be see fence here, see road. If people just hold on like this, they don't reach road already. They've reached the main road. Because in low density, in high density areas, that was the design. There's not so much fence to the road. So if low density areas, it's just for the front setback is 4.5 meters from the fence to the road.
Okay.
Right, that's what it's supposed to be like. So it shouldn't be more than that. It shouldn't be less than that, right? For the side is 2 meters. For the rear back side is 2 meters, right? This is what it should be. And when it comes to places like Maitama that is low density, it's meant for few houses and class and all of that. If you go to places like that, you realize that sometimes when we are driving now, but when you just enter these places, you will know because you see the wide roads, you see the pedestrian lane, pedestrian lane
The
that was
green area.
sometimes you see pedestrian. I'm like, well, is this for pedestrian or for people walking on foot? It's looking like it was designed for a truck, for cars. That's because that was how it was designed. So it's not the same for every place. So when you want to answer that question, it's dependent on where you want to buy from. Do your research, work with a company or a realtor that would do the research for you if you don't have the time to, and give you the right instructions as well and answer. So like I said, it's not the same across every part of Abuja.
Yeah.
High density is 4.5, medium density is 6 meters, and low 7 to 9 meters distance. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not the same everywhere. And look, there are also places where there, if you're buying close to Federal Highway, it should be 45 meters. You know, this is data. This research, it exists online, but you may not have the time to search that yourself. That's why we exist, and that's why other realtors and companies exist, so they can help you guide you to buy rightly. So you won't erect your fence, and after a while you see take down or move. Sometimes you see written on the fence, move 1 meter, this, move all of that. This is because it differs for different districts across Abuja. Okay?
On to the next.
On to the next one.
Yeah. How much land do I need if I want parking, swimming pool, and green space? I think this question has been taken care of as
Yes,
well.
sort of.
So if you want parking, swimming pool, and green space, then you should be looking at, plot sizes that are approved for standalone duplexes. Those plot sizes, usually they have more space.
Yes.
So you can have a pool, you can have green space, you can have a playground for your children, and then you can have, enough parking space for your 5 cars.
Exactly. For your 5 cars.
For your 5 cars. So you should go for plot sizes that are approved for standalone, duplexes, right? Like the 450 square meters, the 350, the 500, 750, 1000, as the case may be, depending on the developer's, layout design. And on to the next. This is yours, right?
Yes.
What area of your land can you build? Okay, what area of my land can I build on from the entire plot?
Interesting question.
Yes.
So let me try to use my hand to make, so this is an entire plot right now, right? The person is asking, on this whole space here, can I build on everything, or what space should I build upon on my own plot? It's not my plot. I can build everywhere if I want. It's not like
down
that.
to the fence, like the building.
Everywhere is building. Just build a building on everywhere.
When you open the gate,
You
I just fit in the wall.
Just open gate and enter. No, it's not like that in Abuja, right? And I believe it's like from research for other parts of Nigeria or across the world, but for Abuja, it's not like that. There is a rule, okay, and land use type. It says for residential plots, the normal is you cannot build on more than 40% of your land. More than 40%.
40%.
You buy a residential plot, you should not build on more than 40% of it. For commercials, is 60% max. For industrial plots, 60% max. The rest should be open space, greenery or whatever. But you shouldn't build more than that. For educational plots, you say you want to erect a school on it, maximum of 35%. You shouldn't build on more than 35% on it, of it, so that you to avoid, like she said, most times it's not like you just went against the rule. You say, no, I want to build on 70% of my land.
Yeah.
And then somehow the government finds out and then they come and demolish. No, there are standards and laws that operate in Abuja, and it's important that you work with them. So typically in Abuja, 40%. If you're building a block of flats, you build on 40% of it. The other 60% is open area, parking lot, whatever. Okay, that's the standard in Abuja. Anything to add to that?
Nothing.
Okay, moving on. We're fast coming to the end of this. I know you've been getting value so far because I have been getting from my colleague. She has been schooling me. So sometimes it's just good to hear these things again. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next one for you. What plot size is best for investment?
That's an interesting one.
Very interesting one.
An interesting one. So if you're looking, okay, when you say investment, let's go back.
Okay.
When you say investments, what it can come from different angles.
Okay.
So some people just want to buy plots and then keep, and after a while they resell.
Resell and get their money.
Exactly.
Okay.
While some people they just want to buy, and then build and sell out.
Okay.
And then others just want to buy, build, and rent out, or possibly use that for short let. It could either be long-term rental or short-term rental, just to increase their cash flow. So for this question, it also goes down to what you want.
What you want.
What you want. What type of investment do you want?
Exactly.
Do you want where you buy, hold, and then sell when the value has appreciated? Then we're talking about, plot sizes. You can do any plot size from 150 square meters, 250 square meters, but just know that you can't hold it for longer than at most 3 years. You can't go beyond 3 years in Abuja. Why? Because there's a land rule here in the city of Abuja that says that you need to develop, your land within 2 years after you've gotten your building approval and your documents. So after you've gotten that, all of that have been approved, then you have at most 2 years to develop your land, at least 60 to 70% within that 2 years. So for individual lands, I think, or of the opinion that it is easier for them because you're not going to do lots of work. But for an estate, it means within 2 years, the estate needs to develop. That's the perimeter fencing, gatehouse, greenery, the structures and all of that within 2 years, at least 60 to 70%, because the government checks, else your land will be revoked, right? So that's for buying to hold. Now, if you want to buy to build, then you can build a block of terraces, or you can build a terrace. You can build and sell it out, or you can build and use it for, rental income. It could be short-term or long-term rental. So the same is applicable for all the plot sizes. But for some people, they would rather, or I think it is better you go for plot sizes that are approved for block of apartments. So we have other plot sizes where you can either do a 1-bedroom block of apartments, or you can do 3-bedroom block of apartments, or 2-bedroom block of apartments, especially if your goal is rental income. Your investment goal is rental income. So the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom would serve you, because you have 6 units of it approved on a plot size. So for instance, let's use 450 square meters as an instance.
For instance?
Yes. So let's say a block of 1-bedroom apartments is approved for a 450 square meter plot size, right? So it is usually 6 units of that 1-bedroom, which is a block. So you can do this, build on it, and then you have 6 tenants. And then you're receiving rental income from these 6 people. So you can do this for the 2-bedroom plot size, the 3-bedroom plot size as well. But if you don't want stress, you can just do your standalone and sell it, or do your standalone and use it for short-term, that's short-let, or the same rental income. So the answer to that question is, this is dependent on your goal, your investment goal will determine the kind of plot size that is suitable for you to go for.
For investment.
Yeah.
I mean, all plots are good, literally. So
Yes.
it's dependent on you, the budget, the location you want, if you want for cash flow, for capital gain, all of that. That's what she's saying in essence. That so it comes to you. Have you asked yourself, okay, why do I want to? Once you're able to define that, you know the best one that goes best for you. Someone else wants to make the money back in 5 years. Someone else wants it in 2 years. It differs.
Yeah.
So there's no a straight jacket for the best plot size that's for investment. So it's dependent on your goal, your capacity, and all of that. But before we go to the next question, I'll ask you a personal question. Now, for you now, like this, are you laughing? So, for you now, which plot size would you love to invest in if you wanted to invest? Which one would you?
I would go for the plot size. First of all, if I want to invest, it depends on what I want.
Okay.
So at the moment, okay, I'll do the plot size where I can build and rent out. And then I'm sitting down somewhere, I know that rent is coming in.
Yeah.
At the end of every 12 months, rent is coming in. So that's most probably a 450 square meters or a 750 square meters or a 1,000 square meter plot size.
Yeah.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, same with me. I already know the plot size. Like I'll go for 450, 1-bedroom apartments.
Yeah.
Straight up, put out some for rent. Maybe the first and second floor for rent, or first and second floor for a short let, ground floor long-term rent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm that guy. I'm the cash flow guy. I prefer cash flow to capital gain to just buy and sell. So it depends on what you want. You see
what
that?
you desire.
What she wants and what I want, they are not the same, but they are both good for investment. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. To the next one. Meanwhile, we're coming to the end of this. I know you have been enjoying this so far and learning as well. Your questions are being answered. If you have questions, please do not forget to drop them in the comment section. We will attend to them either by text or even make a video out of it for you.
We're eagerly waiting for your questions.
All right.
Yeah.
So next one says, for you, Priscilla, or is it for me? Anybody
For
can take
you.
it. Okay.
Whoever, anyone can go for it. So, can plot sizes be affected by building approval? What do you think?
Can plots? I don't really understand this question. Can a plot size?
Can a plot size be affected by building approval? So building approval, it needs to be granted, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I believe this person just wanted to know if the plot size they are going for can be affected, or the plot size they are interested in can be affected by a building approval. And I think the answer is yes.
Okay. That's the angle.
I think yes. I think the answer is yes. From how I understand this question, I think the answer is a big yes. Because in Abuja, just like we've mentioned or we've always said, Abuja is planned. So there are different, it is also zoned. There's residential, there's commercial, there's mixed use, there's industrial, there's green area.
Yes.
So your plot size can be affected by the building approval. Why? Because if it is approved that on this plot size, one needs to stay here as a commercial plot, you can't have a residential plot there. Yes, I think that's the angle they are coming from, because some people just make this mistake.
Yes.
They're so excited about making an investment. They're super excited about owning a plot, right? Or land in Abuja, especially because it is Abuja. So they just go ahead and buy without doing some of these important
little checks.
Yes, little checks. And then at the end of the day, maybe it's now time to build, and then they realize that something is wrong. Just like a story ahead of someone, the guy always goes to pay for land before going to check, and he ended up buying land that is on a waterway, and he wants to build. And he not buy only one plot; he bought 2 plots, and his intention was to build his home to live in. So the mistake he made was to just make that payment, and he paid in full. It was an outright purchase. 2 plots.
Ouch.
Somewhere in Dakiville here. So he just went ahead and made the payment. It was until after making payment, I said, oh, because it's Roy, because it's you are selling to me, let me just pay you. Share the plot is 10 million. I have 10 million, let me just give you. I'll pay the 10 million and all the extra things that I need to pay for. and then I'll say, okay, let's create time to go and see the place. After I've paid, because it's you, and then we'll now go and see the place and realize that I cannot even do anything with the land. So this kind of thing happens when it comes to plot sizes as well. Maybe your intention is to build a standalone, and then you just look at the plot sizes, then you now go for 250 square meters. Meanwhile, 250 square meters is approved for semi-detached duplex. So how is it possible if you do not follow the building approval, you're going to face the consequences? So yes, the answer to this question, from my opinion, I think that your plot size can be, or rather is, affected by the building approval.
And to add to that, so I think this person probably may have had their hands burnt to ask this question. I think before you go to buy any plot or anything, remember, always ask yourself why. What do I want?
Exactly.
So once you know what you want, if let's say
important.
you want a standalone duplex, a 4-bedroom standalone duplex, you now know is what you want. Then when you get into the market and realtors or companies are offering you plot sizes, one of the first things you should check is, okay, this plot size this person is giving me, is the building approval or the building prototype for this plot actually what I have at my heart, which is a 4-bedroom standalone?
Yes.
So once you check and that plot you want to buy was approved for that, tick, go ahead. But if it was approved for, say, a 5-bedroom standalone and what you have at heart is a 4-bedroom standalone, please, that building plan will affect your plot size at that time.
Exactly.
You understand? So first, know what you need, and then when you know what you need, you can then actually make up your mind on that. Okay. We're coming to the end of this last question, right? Says, can I buy? Meanwhile, these questions, we chose these ones because they're not regular questions. For instance, this question now, I'm not sure you've heard it before. I saw this one, and we took it out so that if you have it in mind too, and we're looking at it from different perspectives, so that you can gain clarity.
Or maybe you have it in mind.
Yes.
But you don't know how to ask.
Yes. We've got it out for you.
Put it out for you.
So this one says, can I buy in square meters instead of plots? Instead of plots? You went to school. The same questions, you ended up plots. We go night school at the end. Okay, so can I buy in square meters instead of plots? Okay, so when it comes to this, again, there was something she said in the beginning when we started. When a plot of land, a developer buys it and then he chooses the structure, the design, all of that, and submits and all of that. Just like different companies have different payment plans, right? A company can decide to say, okay, this square meters, let's say a 150 square meter is for a terrace duplex, but a strategy. Should I give up this strategy? This is how developers, it's strategic thinking. You should pay for attention. I'm not about to tell you. But anyway, it's all strategy. It's a marketing strategy, it's a sales strategy, okay? Some decide to use payment plans, 12 months, you're paying for 150 square meters in 12 months, right? It's a strategy. And I can say that same 150 square meters, you don't have to pay for 12 months, but you can buy it out in square meters little by little. It is not standard in the law by the government. These ones can be determined by the developer or the estate you're buying from. Okay. Now, take for instance commercial plots in one of the estates that we have in our listing. The commercial plots are being sold at the price of 199,000 naira per square meter, right? So by that, knowing that price already, you can say, okay, so if I'm coming to buy, let's say this number of square meters, I'm going to spend 199,000 times the number of square meters I want to buy. So this is not in law according to the federal government when it comes to land. These ones are determined by the developer or the estate company you are buying from. So it's dependent on the company or the estates, how they want to run their things. So if you're someone who wants to buy in square meters instead of plot, you have to search, find out, okay, you can tell your realtor, okay, I want a company that uses this strategy. That is how I want to pay off. And then it can be done for you. But it's not in law that, this is dependent on set up my own real estate company and say, you know what, I want to be selling in plots in square meters
Square
because
meters.
if I break it down like that, it's like I don't give up our secrets. But let me just stop it at that, right? It's dependent on the developer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So with that, we've come to the very end of I'll call it a Q&A.
Yes.
Q&A session about everything you need to know about plot sizes right here in Abuja. And we believe, myself and Roy, we believe that you've gotten value. Now, if you agree with us, which I know you would like to hear that in the comments. And of course, if there are questions that you want us to address, you can also drop that in the comments and we would look at them, right?
All right, so thank you so much for watching thus far, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, reach out to us if you have any inquiries. Don't forget to do that. We're always here to help you, guide you, get the best out of real estate in Abuja. So till we come your way the next time, we're always a call away, a text away. Just reach out to us for all your Abuja concerns. And then for our phone number, it's going to be in the description
In the
down
comments
below.
Yeah.
So from us to you, bye for now.
Bye-bye.